The retirement strategy that could let you leave work earlier. Have you ever stopped and wondered what your retirement is really supposed to look like? Most people spend decades working hard, saving every paycheck, contributing faithfully to their 401k, and dreaming about the day they'll finally be free. They imagine traveling, spending time with family, crossing destinations off their bucket list, and enjoying the life they've worked so hard to build. But here's the question almost nobody asks. What if your money is ready, but your body isn't? Imagine reaching your early 60s with a healthy retirement account, but finding that your energy isn't what it used to be. Maybe your knees ache after a short walk. Maybe long flights don't sound exciting anymore. Maybe health concerns have replaced travel plans. You've spent years preparing financially, but you missed the best years to truly enjoy your freedom. Now here's the surprising part. Thousands of Americans don't realize there's an IRS provision that may allow certain workers to access money from their current employer's retirement plan before age 59 and a half without paying the usual 10% early withdrawal penalty. It's called the Rule of 55, and if you're in your 50s or approaching them, it could completely change how you think about retirement. Today, we're going to break down exactly how the Rule of 55 works in 2026, who qualifies, the mistakes that could cost you thousands, and how this strategy may fit into an early retirement plan. We'll also discuss taxes, healthcare, Social Security, and a realistic example showing how one family used this rule to transition into retirement years earlier than they expected. Before we begin, remember that this video is for educational purposes only. Everyone's financial situation is different, so always speak with a qualified CPA or fiduciary financial planner before making retirement decisions. Now, let's dive in. For decades, Americans have been taught one simple idea: work until you're 65 or older, save as much as possible, then retire. It sounds simple, but real life rarely follows that script. Many people don't retire because they finally reach the perfect number in their investment account. Instead, retirement often arrives unexpectedly. A company restructures, a parent needs care, health becomes harder to ignore, or the physical demands of the job simply become too much. Suddenly, retirement isn't a choice, it's a necessity. That's why flexibility matters. The more options you have, the more control you keep over your future. Let's consider a fictional example. David is 56 years old. He's worked for the same manufacturing company for nearly 3 decades. His mortgage is paid off. His children are financially independent. His retirement savings are healthy. But every year, the physical demands of his job become more difficult. He assumes he has no choice but to keep working until he's almost 60 because he believes touching his retirement account earlier would automatically trigger a costly IRS penalty. Then he learns something that changes everything. Because he is leaving his employer after reaching the calendar year he turns 55, he may qualify to withdraw money from that employer's retirement plan without paying the additional 10% early withdrawal penalty. Notice something important. This doesn't mean the money is tax-free. It simply means one particular penalty may not apply if certain IRS requirements are met. For David, that discovery completely changes his retirement timeline. Instead of forcing himself through several more physically demanding years, he now has another option. And sometimes, having options is the most valuable asset of all. Now let's talk about something money can't buy: time. Every financial calculator assumes life moves in a straight line. Save more, earn more, work longer, retire richer. But life doesn't work that way. Your 60s are not the same as your 70s. Your health changes. Your priorities evolve. The activities you've always dreamed about become more physically demanding. Many retirees say the first decade after leaving work is when they travel the most, try new hobbies, volunteer, and spend meaningful time with family. Later in retirement, spending often shifts toward healthcare and everyday living expenses. That's one reason many financial professionals encourage people to think beyond simply maximizing their account balance. Sometimes the real goal isn't finishing with the biggest portfolio possible. It's having enough resources while you're still healthy enough to enjoy the freedom you've earned. Of course, this doesn't mean everyone should retire at 55. Far from it. Some people genuinely enjoy their careers. Others need additional income. Others simply aren't financially prepared. The important point is understanding your available options instead of assuming there is only one retirement path. And that's exactly where the rule of 55 enters the conversation. So, what exactly is the rule of 55? In simple terms, it's an IRS exception that may allow certain employees to withdraw money from their current employer-sponsored retirement plan after leaving that employer during or after the calendar year they turn 55. Normally, taking money out of a traditional 401k before age 59 and a half may result in ordinary income taxes plus an additional 10% early withdrawal penalty unless an exception applies. The rule of 55 is one of those exceptions. If you qualify, you may avoid that extra penalty. However, regular federal and applicable state income taxes generally still apply to traditional pre-tax withdrawals. This distinction is incredibly important. Avoiding the penalty does not mean avoiding taxes. Another key point surprises many people. The rule of 55 generally applies only to the retirement plan connected to the employer you're leaving. Old 401ks from previous employers usually don't receive the same treatment automatically. Neither do traditional IRAs. That means understanding where your retirement savings are located could become a major part of your planning strategy. Unfortunately, many people learn these details only after making costly rollover decisions that are difficult or impossible to reverse. That's why learning the rules before leaving your job is so important. In the next section, we'll cover the exact eligibility requirements, the most common mistakes people make, and several planning strategies that could make a meaningful difference if early retirement is part of your future. Rule of 55 in 2026. The retirement strategy that could let you leave work earlier. Part 2. Eligibility, common mistakes, taxes, and healthcare. Welcome back. Now that you understand what the Rule of 55 is, let's answer the question everyone asks. Do I actually qualify? The answer depends on a few very specific IRS rules, and missing just one of them could cost you thousands of dollars. Let's break it down in plain English. Rule number 1. You must leave your employer. The Rule of 55 only becomes available after you separate from your employer. That separation could happen because you retire, resign, accept a voluntary separation package, or even get laid off. What matters isn't why you leave. What matters is when you leave. Generally, you must separate from service during or after the calendar year you turn 55. For certain qualified public safety employees, that age may be lower under special rules. Many people mistakenly believe they have to wait until their actual 55th birthday. That's not necessarily true. If your birthday is in November and you leave your employer in March of that same calendar year, You may still qualify because the IRS looks at the calendar year, not simply the day you celebrate your birthday. That small detail has surprised countless workers. Rule number 2. It applies to your current employer's plan. This is probably the biggest misunderstanding. Imagine you've worked for 4 different companies during your career. You have 4 separate 401k accounts. Only the retirement plan connected to the employer you're leaving may qualify for Rule of 55 treatment. The other retirement accounts generally don't receive that same exception automatically. That's why planning ahead matters. Some workers choose to consolidate eligible retirement savings into their current employer's plan before retirement, when the plan permits it. Doing that may simplify withdrawals later. However, not every employer allows incoming rollovers. Always check your plan documents before making any decisions. Rule number 3. Your employer's plan must allow withdrawals. Here's something many people never hear. The IRS may allow penalty-free access, but your employer's retirement plan controls how distributions actually work. Some plans are extremely flexible. You can withdraw only what you need. Others are much more restrictive. Some only allow one withdrawal every year. Others require a full lump sum distribution after separation. That difference can dramatically affect your taxes. Imagine needing only $40,000 for the year. Instead, you're forced to withdraw $500,000 because of your plan's rules. That could create a massive tax bill. Never assume your plan works the way someone else's does. Call your human resources department or your plan administrator and ask for the summary plan description. That document explains exactly what your options are. Mistake number 1, rolling everything into an IRA too soon. Many retirees think this is the smart first move. I'll just roll my 401k into an IRA. Sometimes that's a great strategy, but not always. Once eligible money leaves your employer's retirement plan and goes into an IRA, the Rule of 55 exception generally no longer applies to those funds. That means if you're younger than 59 and a half and later need money from that IRA, the usual early withdrawal rules may apply unless another exception is available. This single mistake has cost people thousands of dollars in unnecessary penalties. Mistake number 2, ignoring taxes. Here's another myth. People hear penalty-free and immediately think tax-free. Those are 2 completely different things. If your withdrawals come from a traditional pre-tax 401k, they're generally taxed as ordinary income. Let's say you withdraw $50,000. You avoid the 10% early withdrawal penalty because you qualify under the Rule of 55. That's excellent. But you still owe income taxes on that withdrawal. Planning how much to withdraw each year becomes just as important as deciding when to retire. A thoughtful withdrawal strategy may help you avoid moving into a higher tax bracket unnecessarily. What about Roth 401ks? This area becomes more technical. Your Roth contributions were generally made with after-tax dollars. However, the investment earnings inside the account follow different rules. Whether earnings can be withdrawn tax-free depends on several IRS requirements, including age and holding periods. Because these rules can become complicated, many retirement professionals recommend reviewing your specific situation with a tax advisor before making withdrawals or rollovers. A small mistake today could create unexpected taxes tomorrow. Why early retirement can create tax opportunities. Now let's look at something many people overlook. Imagine you're earning $120,000 every year while working. You're already paying taxes based on that income. Now imagine you retire at 56. Your employment income disappears. Instead, maybe you only withdraw enough from your retirement accounts to cover living expenses. Suddenly, your taxable income could be much lower than it was during your working years. For some retirees, that creates opportunities to carefully manage taxes. Some choose to perform partial Roth conversions during these lower income years. Others coordinate withdrawals between taxable accounts, retirement accounts, and cash savings to remain within lower federal tax brackets. Every situation is different, but thoughtful tax planning can sometimes make early retirement more efficient than many people expect. Don't forget health care. This is often the biggest obstacle for people considering retirement before age 65. Once you leave your employer, your workplace health insurance usually ends. Medicare generally doesn't begin until age 65 for most Americans. That leaves a potential gap of several years. Health insurance during those years can become one of your largest retirement expenses. Fortunately, some early retirees qualify for premium assistance through the Affordable Care Act marketplace, depending on household income and other factors. That's another reason tax planning matters. Your taxable income may affect what assistance you're eligible to receive. Before making any retirement decision, estimate your healthcare costs carefully. Don't rely on guesses. Know your numbers. Because one unexpected expense can completely change an otherwise solid retirement plan. Rule of 55 in 2026. The retirement strategy that could let you leave work earlier. Part 3. Case study, retirement checklist, Social Security, and final thoughts. By now, you understand what the Rule of 55 is, who may qualify, and some of the biggest mistakes to avoid. But let's answer the question that really matters. What does this look like in real life? Let's walk through a fictional example. Meet Robert, a 56-year-old engineer. After 31 years with the same company, Robert is ready for a change. He's healthy, his home is paid off, and his children are financially independent. His retirement savings look like this. Current employer's 401k, $1.1 million. Roth, IRA, $180,000. Taxable brokerage account, $220,000. Emergency savings, $40,000. His annual living expenses are about $70,000. Like many Americans, Robert believes he has only two choices: work until age 65, or retire early and pay expensive IRS penalties. Then he learns about the Rule of 55. Because he leaves his employer after reaching the calendar year he turns 55, he may be able to withdraw money from his current employer's 401k without the usual 10% early withdrawal penalty. Instead of working another 9 years just because he thinks he has to, Robert builds a retirement income plan. Each year, he withdraws only what he needs from his employer's retirement plan while carefully monitoring his taxable income. He delays claiming Social Security. His investments continue growing, and perhaps most importantly, he gains something money can never replace: time. Instead of waiting until his late 60s to begin living, he spends his late 50s traveling with his wife, volunteering in his community, hiking national parks, and watching his grandchildren grow up. Could he have earned more money by working longer? Probably. Where does Social Security fit in? Another important decision is when to claim Social Security. Many Americans claim benefits as soon as they're eligible at age 62. Others wait until their full retirement age. Some delay until age 70 to receive larger monthly benefits. There isn't one perfect answer. The best choice depends on your health, family longevity, financial needs, marital status, taxes, and overall retirement strategy. For some people, using the rule of 55 to bridge the gap between retirement and Social Security allows them to delay claiming benefits, which may increase their monthly income later in life. For others, claiming earlier may make more sense. This is why retirement planning isn't just about investments. It's about creating an income strategy that works together. Your 5-step rule of 55 checklist. If you're considering retiring before age 60, ask yourself these 5 questions. Question 1. Will I leave my employer during or after the calendar year I turn 55? If not, the rule of 55 may not apply. Timing matters. Question 2. Where are my retirement savings located? Are most of your savings still inside your current employer's retirement plan, or are they scattered across several old 401ks and IRAs? Understanding where your money is today could influence your options tomorrow. Question 3. Have I reviewed my employer's retirement plan rules? Don't rely on assumptions. Contact your Human Resources Department or Retirement Plan Administrator. Ask, what distribution options are available after I separate from service? Knowing the answer before retirement can prevent expensive surprises later. Question 4. Have I estimated my true retirement budget? Many people underestimate expenses. List everything: housing, utilities, insurance, food, transportation, travel, entertainment, property taxes, healthcare premiums, prescription medications, unexpected home repairs. Then ask yourself an important question. Can my retirement income comfortably support this lifestyle? Question 5. Do I have a tax strategy? Retirement isn't simply about withdrawing money. It's about deciding which account to withdraw from, when, and how much. That decision can affect taxes, Medicare premiums, investment growth, and even future Social Security taxation. A qualified tax professional or fiduciary financial planner may help you create a strategy that's appropriate for your personal situation. 1. Final thought. For decades, Americans have been told the same message: work longer, save more, retire later. There's nothing wrong with working if you enjoy it and it fits your goals. But don't stay simply because you didn't know your options. The rule of 55 isn't a shortcut to wealth. It's not a loophole. And it certainly isn't right for everyone. It's simply one of several retirement rules that may provide greater flexibility for eligible workers. The real goal isn't retiring as early as possible. The goal is retiring when you are financially prepared, while you still have the health, energy, and freedom to enjoy the life you've spent decades building. Because at the end of the day, money is a tool, time is a gift, and your health is something no investment can replace. If this video helped you better understand the rule of 55, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me, how old are you, and at what age would you ideally like to retire? If you found this information valuable, please click the like button and subscribe for more straightforward retirement, investing, Social Security, and personal finance videos designed specifically for Americans planning their next chapter. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. Until next time, keep learning, keep planning, and remember, a successful retirement isn't measured by how much money you leave behind. It's measured by how well you enjoy the years you've worked so hard to earn.